Hello, hello, hello. This is Tom from Tom and Ruth Philippine Adventures. Take number 3 on this video. We're going to talk about my doctor. I went to the doctor yesterday and how much it cost. We're going to talk about age gap relationships. And then we're going to talk about a gentleman that lives in Cebu and what happened to him. And it ended up being a good story. So we're going to get into it starting right now. I went to a doctor yesterday, had my blood work done, taken. I fasted the night before, and he said, "You're a bull." As my friend George says, you're like him and I both are like a couple of silverback gorillas. We are. He says, "You are like a bull. You're in good shape as far as health-wise." He said, "You need to lose some weight." I'm 66 pounds overweight. I'm 266. I need to be about 205. So I'm 60 pounds overweight. I need to drop those weight. When I arrived here, I was 205. Pretty good shape. I'm still climbing ladders, going on higher roofs, and exercise. But really fairly good shape at 60. But long story short, anyway, he says you're okay. Your LDL is good. The cholesterol, your sugars, your heart is really good. Your lungs are good. I really just had a good workup yesterday. And he said the only thing would be getting exercise. And I said, we'll start doing on that. Ruth and I start doing exercise together because safety issues, I can't really go out here where I'm at. So Ruth and I will just start doing them now ourselves in-house, and we'll exercise and come up with a routine together and where I can just drop the weight and trying to find the foods to make sure I get the right foods. And we talked about that. I said, where can I get the good foods? He said, you're not going to find it here. You're not going to find it. You're going to find vegetables fresh. Not really. You're going to find vegetables, but they may not be fresh because they're cut and picked and they stacked on the ground a day or two before they even make it to the market. And in some cases, maybe 3 days. So you're not really getting the fresh, but you're getting, and no one does here, unless you got a farm right here and they're bringing it. They just don't. It's usually on the ground 2 or 3 days because they do a fill. They do, 10 hectare, 2 hectare, 5 hectare. And you just can't cut it and bring it to the store one day. So you just have to really be choosy and eat the beans and things like that, protein. So that ended up very good conversation with him. 3 hours with him yesterday. And all that, we talked about health. We talked about life. We talked about what's going on just in general in the country. He's a really good doctor. Really knowledgeable. So if you're in my area and you need a doctor, all you have to do is let me know, and I can tell you he's at the perimeter in town. Really great doctor and very knowledgeable. I mean, the guy is amazing. Okay, so I cannot say any more positive about the guy. He's just a very amazing doctor. Okay, number 2 on this is age gap relationships. 25-year-old married to a 70-year-old, 25-year-old married to a 60-year-old. Is it okay? Yeah, it's okay. They accept that here. A lot of Filipino marry younger girls, and a lot of young girls older girls marry younger guys here too. So don't think it's just the norm. It's accepted. Filipino culture, they're more reserved, they're more quiet, they're more reserved themselves, and they may not say what's on their mind. They may think it, but they won't say it to you. But they're really a great culture. They're loving and caring, and no matter if a calamity comes, their house is gone, they're still smiling. And it's such a great country to be at. So if you want the comfort and relaxation of the country, it has a lot to offer. And it's a good place to come live. It's a good place to come visit. For me, and even like he said, I want to travel more, get outside the Philippines. And the doctor was telling me that, and enjoy more of see whatever all the other world, Thailand and Bali and Cambodia, Laos and Vietnam and Hong Kong and Singapore. He said, I've not been out of the country one time. And we talked about going to the States, and his friends have gone to the States. And so it was really great conversations, and they got some really great sign-on bonuses and great jobs. And so he's maybe looking at trying to shoot to the United States of America and make some income. All right, number 3 on the list, we talk about long-distance relationships, and it's great and it's fantastic. Number 3, we're going to talk about a friend of mine. And he's a friend from United States of America friend, okay? He comes here about 2 years ago in COVID. He got out and got in right before COVID. He gets here in the Philippines. He marries a Filipina, and they get married, and he's here. And of course, he's stuck and can't really go back. But it's all right. He manages. He has a little income. He has houses in the States and rental apartments, and his brother helped him manage those while he was here. And so he had income coming in, so he's fine. He got sick, and he was not feeling well. And so he went to the doctor in Cebu. And the doctor says, listen, you need to have an operation. And we're really not, no matter the hospitals here in Cebu, we're really not equipped to do any heart. You have to go to Manila. So he flies up to Manila. And they're at the heart center, and they're telling him all these things. And he's really getting discouraged. And finally this one doctor comes up and says, well, we can do it. And it's like he was like not getting that real good home feeling, like, oh man, what am I going to do? I said, I can't get out of the country. I can't fly out. And he says, what am I going to do? So he ends up he said, the doctor says, there is one guy. He's from the United States of America. He's here doing a speech at a BGC. So go over there and meet the guy. He's from U.S. I'll give you a referral to meet the doctor. And so he goes there, and he ends up meeting the doctor. The doctor says, and the doctor's doing speeches, and he waited, a day, and he says, listen, I got to the guy in charge, said, I really need to speak to him. I have a problem with my heart, and I really need to speak to him. He's a doctor from the States, and the doctor's kind of stuck here also to catch a flight out. So he was leaving at BGC there. So, he was just doing, helping out the hospitals, free care. So, and he's a surgeon. He's a heart surgeon. So the guy operates on him. Long story short, the guy operates on him. Guy's okay. But the guy operates on him at a hospital there at BGC there, and so the bill comes in, and it's like large, like 40 grand. 40 grand. 2 million peso, And the guy says, I don't have that money. I have money, but, I'm getting 1,000 a month here and 1,000 a month here, and I got, I'm getting a couple $1,000s a month, but I can sell a house in the States, but that's maybe he's thinking about doing, just selling one of his rental houses and getting you the money, but he's stuck in the hospital. And the doctor found out about this. The doctor was there checking on, make sure he was all right. And the doctor ended up talking to him, and he said, you seem down today. He said, I'm really discouraged because I don't have $40,000. They want to charge me at the hospital. He says, what? $40,000? What do they charge? I did the operation. Why do they charge you $40,000? He said, I don't know. So the guy says, you know what? Let me talk to the administrator. I'll be right back. So the guy leaves. The surgeon from U.S. leaves. The guy's from Boston, by the way. I don't remember his name. Dr. Singh. So the guy goes upstairs, talks to administration, comes back downstairs. He says, well, I got some good news and some bad news. And he says, tell me the bad first. He said, well, I talked to the administrator. There's nothing he can do. There's not one thing he can do to reduce the price, not $1. He said, that's the thing. Not $1. He could not help me out as an American. Come here and I spend probably, $1 million, 2 million peso here already in the Philippines. He's not willing to help me? No. But you ready for the good news? And the guy said, yes. He said, I paid your bill. You don't have to worry about no bill. Don't you worry about any bill. Your medication is not only, it's paid for. So once we separate, and I'm going back, which he's flying out, he got medical clearance to fly out back to the United States of America. He says, you need me, you call me. And if you need anything at all, you call this doctor here at this hospital, and he'll help you in any kind of needs at all. So this great doctor out of Boston, Dr. Singh, actually paid his bill, and he was telling me the story about that. He said, there are some really wonderful people, but he said, I really was discouraged about not to be able to help the bill. I said, well, That's the way it is. So you have to accept the way it is here like that. So if you're in the hospital, be prepared for the high bills. I mean, even my doctor yesterday is telling me that he had a patient over in Valencia that he was ministering, and the Adventist hospital charged like $10,000 on an operation, 10,000 US dollars. Now he said back 2 years, 3 years ago, that same operation would have cost $1,000, $2,000. He said they're trying to recoup their money from the COVID. And so I said, so he said even there, they can't pay that money. And so they were kind of like trapped in the situation. They had to put up their land, they had to put up their vehicles, they had to put up all kinds of stuff and sign a promissory note that they'll pay them back. And he said, what if they don't pay the bill? He said, well, they're going to take the land. They'll end up taking the land. So you have to be prepared for that. But I'm happy that my friend, I did not know. I knew that he went to the hospital and I talked to him. I did not know that doctor, Dr. Singh, paid his bill. And I was actually impressed with the fact is that was very nice for him to do. I want to thank everybody for always watching my videos. So as updates for today, God bless everybody. And I'll see you guys next time on Tom and Ruth.